Can you mute your mic? Sorry. Okay. Thank you so much. So our agenda is introduction, goal and aim of the Azure Bootcamp. We're going to talk about a little bit about Azure computing for those that are new to cloud computing. So we're going to talk about the platforms to take the AZ900 Azure Fundamental Certification, because that's one of the goals for this bootcamp, to get students prepared to take this AZ900 before June, because it ends on June. The free certification for students ends this June. So the next is Azure Cloud Skill Challenge, which is ongoing. And after that, we have the question and feedback. So this bootcamp is designed to help you learn about Microsoft Azure Cloud, computing services, its capabilities and application and uses, and the benefits of using Azure. No prior knowledge is needed for this. So this is beginner friendly. Our target audience are beginners. So our boot camp will run for, it's actually 1 week, but we made it 3 days to meet up. So with this, with the class queue already running up, the challenge had already started. We just wanted to meet up so persons can see this applications where we can, possible applications where Azure can be applied. So today is 15th, the next day, tomorrow that's 16th, and then the last day will be on the 21st of March, that's next week, by 4 p.m. daily. We're going to use this link, this particular link. So what are the benefits of participating in this bootcamp? You're going to gain skills high in demand. We all know everyone, or not really everyone, but corporations and organizations are moving towards the cloud, and having a skill and a certificate in Azure is really going to be helpful to in your resume and your career at large. If you're looking towards the cloud, you're going to get the Azure for Student benefit. So as you're a student, you can sign up for the Azure for Student benefit. Azure costs money. Yes, to run your application in cloud or do anything cloud, you have to pay for it. But as a student, you're being given the benefit of that. So you can go ahead and sign up for Azure for Student benefit with your school email or any other thing that you can validate your student status. The next one is badges and certificate to show achievement. So when you're taking the cloud skill challenge, for every module you complete, you're going to get a badge which you can share on LinkedIn or Facebook, and equally when you take the AZ900. The next one, build and host web app with Azure services. So on the 21st, Chidera is going to show you how you can build and host a website. You're going to be showing you a portfolio website, and you're going to build a portfolio website with HTML, with a VS Code, and then host it with the Azure Static Web App. And I sent one other demo to the group where I use Azure Cognitive Service, that is Translate, to build a translator web app. Yes, I hosted that too on Azure Web Services. Because if you see the link, you're going to see azure.net. You're going to see the name, then Azure website.net. Yes. So the last one is get prepared to sit for the AZ900 certification exam. That's what I've been saying all along. So the last and final one is stand a chance to win LinkedIn Premium for 1 year. So if you're using LinkedIn, you all know why LinkedIn Premium is so important. So if you stay with us throughout this bootcamp, you stand a chance to win this for 1 year. So the schedule 15, talking about introduction to cloud computing, Microsoft certification, that's today. Then tomorrow, a workshop on how to build and deploy your web app with Azure services. Then on the 21st, we're going to be working through a learn module on Azure Fundamental. And then we're going to talking about the practice assessment. So Microsoft has made it easier. Initially, we were using Measure Up for past questions if you want to take the exam certification exam, but now they've made it easier by bringing out the practice assessment. So the next one, you schedule your exam and questions and feedback. That's on the last day. But I guess we're moving the workshop to the last day and then putting the 21st activity tomorrow. So I don't want to miss it. So now You'll be hearing me talk about Azure cloud computing. Please, are we still here? Am I still audible?
Yes, you are.
If anyone knows what Azure cloud computing is, please can you answer, or maybe use using the chat option if you know what Azure cloud computing is, or if you know what cloud computing, if this is not your first time hearing cloud computing, what do you think it is? I'm just going to give everyone 10 seconds or 20. Children, please check the chat. Has anyone answered? What do you think cloud computing is, everyone? Has anyone answered?
Nobody has answered.
Okay, so we're going to assume this is everyone's first time of learning, of hearing Azure cloud computing. But I guess I don't think so because I've seen Cletus, I've been seeing his activities and he's into technology. I guess this is not his first time. And this is not some person's first time. Chidera, you too, this is not your first time.
Somebody has answered though.
Oh, okay, what did they say?
Cloud computing refers to the delivery of computing services, including servers, storages, database, networking, software analytics, and intelligence over the internet. So
Oh,
instead of
that's
hosting,
amazing.
uh, instead of hosting
Continue.
applications or services on local servers or personal computers, cloud computing relies on remote servers located in data centers around the world to provide
Woo,
access to these resources.
that's
Mm.
amazing. Thank you so much. Okay. So yes, according to the person, cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet. So we have such services include IT infrastructures. We have the person mentioned database, storage, serverless. So you can also include virtual machines and networking as well. And you can also include other traditional IT services like the Internet of Things, your machine learning, your artificial intelligence. You can do that with Azure. So for the artificial intelligence, I told you guys Azure has the cognitive services, which has the custom vision, object detection, translate services, and much more. So this is for AI and equally machine learning. I think AI is a subset of machine learning. I think one of those things. So and then recently we talked about recently we're hearing about Chat GPT. So yes, Azure has Open AI, and almost everything right now is built on Azure. If you know Power Platform is built on Azure. Logic App is with Azure. Virtual Machine, Azure. Kubernetes, Azure. Azure has a lot of services. The next thing is responsibilities, shared responsibilities and services on Azure. So if you're new to Azure, if you want to use Azure, Azure is going to ask you, what do you like? What responsibility do you want? What service do you want? Do you want the SaaS? The SaaS is here. Where is this? Can is my tags view blocking this? Okay, let me take this off. So the SaaS is software as a service. That's the meaning of SaaS. Then the PaaS is platform as a service, and then the IaaS is infrastructure as a service. So the IaaS, this is the infrastructure as a service, places more responsibility on the consumer. So you are the consumer, you and I, we are the consumer. So then Azure and Microsoft is the cloud provider. So for this IaaS, the infrastructure as a service, more responsibility falls on you and I, the consumer. But for SaaS, this SA, software as a service, more responsibility falls on Microsoft, the cloud provider, whereas the PaaS stays in the middle. The PaaS is the platform as a service, it stays in the middle. Then whereas the on-premise here, the last one, is you're the one taking care of that. So that means you don't have any business with them. So if you look at the IaaS, this one, the infrastructure as a service, if you see here, Microsoft takes care of the physical host, the physical network, and the physical centers. Look at it. Whereas the rest, you do take care of it, the information and data, the people that are allowed to view such data, the devices to connect to that, the accounts and identities, application, network controls, virtual machine, you take care of that. So then this SaaS, the software as a service, Microsoft takes care of this, takes care of almost everything except the information and data and the devices. So you're the one that takes care of the information you put, you're the one that manages the information you send to the cloud, and then the devices you use to access that thing. So one of the example of software as a service, you can say Microsoft 365. Yes, Microsoft 365 is a software as a service. If you check it out, Microsoft 365, you have the Microsoft Word, the SharePoint, the Power Platform, the Automate. So if we check it out, they take care of the physical data center for you, the network, the host. All you need to do is just your information and then the devices you use to connect to that. Sorry. So there are three types of cloud. I actually missed it here. We have the private cloud, we have the public cloud, and we have the hybrid cloud. So the next one is, what can I do with Azure? I've been talking about Azure and the services they do offer. So what can I do with Azure? You can develop and deploy artificial intelligence and machine learning solutions with Azure. Yes, you can do that with Azure. You can host and deploy your web applications, like your static web app, your web services, all that with Azure. It doesn't matter the language you use or the framework or the stack. Everything can be deployed to Azure, and you can either deploy through your VS Code or through the Azure portal, or you can use the Azure command line. So the next one is deploy and manage virtual machines. Yes. So we all know virtual machines, like you can use a virtual box. Like if you have a MacBook and you want to run a Windows operating system, you can do that with the virtual machine. So it's either you download maybe your virtual box, or if you don't want to download that, you can just go to Azure and create a virtual machine and then put the Windows OS disk and run the disk there on that with your MacBook. So the next thing you can do with Azure, you can store and manage data with Azure. So you can just send everything to the cloud and manage it from wherever you are. So the next thing you can do is integrate with other services such as your Microsoft 365 with external connectors. All this you can do with Azure. They are not limited, and lots more. So now what are the benefits of using Azure? One, availability. So this focuses on ensuring maximum availability regardless of disruption or events that may occur. Maybe you're hosting your service, you're hosting your application in maybe in Asia, in North American region, and then maybe hurricane happens there and scatter the whole data system. That is not your business, and that will not affect you that's because it's all connected. The regions are connected in such a way that if anything happens in one region, the other region can back it up. So the next one is scalability, the ability to adjust resources to meet demand. So in Azure, with Azure, you pay for what you use. You can, if you just go to Azure right now, you're not paying for anything. But if you build a virtual machine and start using their resource, as you use, you're going to pay for that. They're not going to tell you, oh, because you signed up with us, come and pay for signing up with us. No, that doesn't work with Azure. Azure is pay as you use. So if you're having too much traffic in your web app and you need to scale it up, with Azure, you can scale it up automatically. And when the demand goes down, when the traffic goes and reduces, Azure can scale it down. So you can scale horizontally, horizontal scaling or vertical scaling. So the next one is reliability. So it's almost the same with this availability where a disruption can occur. But for this particular one, you are so sure that nothing will happen, and nothing will happen to your service you're hosting on Azure because they are so reliable. The next one is predictability. It's all about moving with confidence in terms of performance and cost. So as I was saying, if you use any product, any of the service in Azure, you're going to pay for what you use. So they won't put you, they won't, how will I put it? They won't demand from you for what you don't use. The services you use, that's what you're going to pay for. That's one thing with Azure. You pay as you use, pay as you go. So the next one is security and management. Since they are taking care of your data for you on the cloud, they are in charge of security. So you need to be rest assured from DDoS, that's a distributed denial of service. You're going to be assured of disruption from man in the middle attack. So all security, they are in charge. Then for management, they're going to take care of your health. They're going to check, you can check the health of your application you hosted on the cloud or in the cloud or with the cloud. You can do that with Azure. You check your analytics and you check your metrics with that. So that's one of the benefits. No, these are among the benefits of using Azure. And there are so much more. So that's all for Azure Fundamental. So the cloud skill that is currently on right now will take you through everything you need to know about Azure. Please, does anyone have any question before I continue? Chidera, is there any question?
No, no question.
No question. Okay. Okay, so the cloud skill challenge is currently ongoing and is going to end in the next 5 days. I think we started that this month, earlier this month. We're going to end 24th or so. So if you want to know more about Azure, you can just go sign up on the cloud skill. Chidera, please, can you post the link to that on the chat for me? The cloud skill challenge. Do you have it?
Yes, I'll check. I'll post it.
Okay. So this fundamental teaches it has 8 modules to just run through the fundamentals of Azure. The first one is describe the core architectural components of Azure. Then the second is describe Azure Compute and Network Services, storage, identity access security, cost management, features and tools for governance, and describe monitoring tools in Azure. So this is what you will learn for the Azure Fundamental Cloud Skill Challenge. So for the AZ900, I just basically did a rundown of what you just need to start the exam. So you go ahead. I know most of us have Microsoft account, Learn account. So if you don't have one, you just create one. I'm going to drop the link later in the group chat. So you create a Microsoft Learn account. Then you look for the AZ900 certification and start learning it. Start going through the module. You create a cloud skill account. So this cloud skill is where you're going to get your keys, the voucher keys. It's going to be you're going to get the voucher keys from your cloud skill. So when you create an account on cloud skill, you just verify your student status on the cloud skill. If you don't verify your student status on the cloud skill, if you claim the voucher and you go to check out on person VUE, it's going to show that it's not available, that voucher is not available. Why are you showing that? It's because you've not verified your student status. So if you don't have a school email, or if you don't have a school email, you can use your ID card. You can snap your ID card and send it to them. Or you can use any documentation that has your school name written boldly on it, and then the current year you're in, and then give a brief description of what that is. So if you're using your school ID card, you can describe, this is my school ID card from the University of Port Harcourt. I'm in 500 level. So when you verify that, you choose your preferred certification, you start a journey, click on sit for exam, and then it takes you to the certification page. I'm going to practicalize, I'm going to show you that here. So when you choose your preferred certification, the AZ900, so you go to, it takes you to update your details on certification page. When you've accepted everything and you're ready to take the exam, the voucher issue, you're going to see the keys here. So it takes you to update your details on the certification page. So you update your details, your name, your address, the name that is written in your, the name that is on your identity card. That's the same name you're going to put here. So if you're fond of using your initial, maybe your name is John Doe, and you put only John, and during the exam you present them a an identity card that has John Doe, whereas on the certification page your name is John, it may cause an issue. So it's better you put your full name, your details, your house is, and everything. So when you update your details on the certification page, it takes you to the person VE. These are the guys in charge of the exam. So after you schedule your exam, then you practice with a Microsoft assessment. The practice assessment, you just go there and practice and read more while preparing for your exam. And when it's time for your exam, you go take your exam and you ace your exam and claim your certificate. So I'm going to send link to this. Okay, I'm going to share this PowerPoint, this slide. So you can, when you have the slide, you can, if you click on it, it takes you to Microsoft Learn. If you click on this, it takes you to the Cloud Ready skill. So the links are on this. So we have the student summit coming up, and I'll encourage everyone to sign up for it. Then after the student summit comes up next week, that's next week from March 20th. It depends on your region. So you look for your region and register for it. So after that comes the Global Azure Day. If you want to learn more and see more practical applications of Azure, sign up for the Global Azure Day. And we have a physical meetup for the Global Power Bootcamp, Power Platform Bootcamp, that is happening next month in Port Harcourt. And you don't want to miss it. Last year we hosted one, and this year it's going to be awesome too. You know, we all love swag. So this year we're coming with more swags and swags. And after that, the MLSA Uniport Twitter handle, please follow it for more information. Thank you. Oh, thank you. So this is our handle, MFFT Uniport. Thank you so much. So let me go ahead and show you all how to create that. The first thing I said is to create your Microsoft account. So if you go here, you can just type Microsoft account. So this, you come here, you click on this, and you sign in, you create a profile and you sign in. So then you look for the Azure AZ900. You can come here, certification. Look at it, the first one. So if you scroll down, it will show you the part. If you've completed the learning part, the learn module learning part, complete this last one because I scheduled my exam. If this is not your first time of taking an exam, you can just click here completely and go to the next page. But for first time, if you click here, you don't have any voucher to take the exam. So you just come and search for Cloud Ready skill. So if you've created an account with Microsoft Learn, if you come here to sign up for creating an account and you use the same email, it's going to link both together. So yeah, this particular page is showing learn how, because I've verified my student status. I've taken an exam before, but for first timers, here it's going to show verify student status, and you can verify it there. Just click on it and it's good. So this is how the Microsoft, the cloud skill looks like. So I want to take the AZ900. This is it. I'm going to click on start journey. If you finished a journey before and you've passed the exam, it's going to show you journey finish. So if you want to start another one, start this. I'm going to start Azure Fundamental Journey. So if you click on Explore, it takes you back to Microsoft Learn, then exam cramps, questions as well. So you toggle this, confirm. I'm ready to take. If you're not comfortable with taking this, you can equally withdraw from this journey. You don't want to take this particular one. So this is practice test that Microsoft has. Okay, so these are questions, but there is another one which I'm going to put the link soon. Okay, I think this is it. Let me open this on another page. Okay, see assessment. No, this is not what I'm looking for. That's not what I'm looking for. Let me get it out. Please, pardon. I'm looking for the practice assessment. One that has questions up to 50 questions, not the other one. Okay, so this is it. But if you click on this one, you click on go to get, it takes you to these questions. So after you finish looking at these questions, you go to the other one. So this one is way better. We're going to take AZ Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. So you click on it. If you're taking other certification, you have some here. So you just click on AZ and then it pops, it shows you this. You have 50 questions. So every time you can come back and retake the questions. What are two characteristics of consumption-based model? Answer each. No upfront. Answer correct. Complete this. No upfront requires this. So this is it. So after you go to sample questions, so the next thing is to claim your voucher. Claim. So if you don't have a person view, you can click here to see more instruction and click here for useful information. So when you're ready to take it, you just go to book your exam. And it takes you to this page, and then you go down and use the schedule with this. So initially I told you if you just go through Microsoft Learn and you've not taken an exam before, if you just go through Microsoft Learn, and if not taken an exam before and schedule with it, you may end up encountering errors because you don't have any voucher attached to your name. So you go to Microsoft, you go to your cloud ready skills, sign up, start a journey, claim the voucher, and sit for the exam. Then it takes you back here. So this is where it took me. Okay, and this is my certification page. And this is it. This is the exam I signed up for. Please verify your information is up to date. Verify your information is up to date, as I said. And this job title, if you chose student and you don't see this, congrats, you are qualified for this. You are going to get an issue when you want to schedule the exam. So make sure yours, when you choose student, it shows congrats, meaning that you verified your student status. I wrote a blog on this showing how you can. I'm going to look for that and post this later on. So you make sure everything is complete. This is the discount. Okay, so this is the person VUE. So if you want to take your exam at a test center, you can find one close to you. Look for anyone that is available, or you take it at home, online as my home or office. So I used this one the last time. I'm going to use it again. I can't find any test center close to my house. So if you think you're going to have issues with this, maybe when we return to school, you can come use my laptop and take the exam. So you click next, you choose English, next. If you speak Korean or any other thing, you can choose any language. So then you attest to this, next. Accept, accept, accept. Please read this. Accept, accept, accept. Agree. English. Yes. Ensure your time zone is correct. So let me see. Select your date. Look for any date available. So which one should I use? Let's say Friday, 24th. And if you want to change this at any time, change it 24 hours before the day. You cannot have exam tomorrow and you're going to change it tomorrow morning. To not work. You end up losing that. So you can explore more time. If you don't take in the morning, you look for the time available to you. Maybe see this one, 1:15 to 5 p.m. You can choose maybe 1:30 or 1:15, maybe 1:15. And then click on book this appointment. So this is the last page, and then you proceed to check out. Thank you all for attending. So tomorrow we are going to be displaying how to use this Azure and build and host a web app.